Graphics. Art design. Yeah. That's what's next. I don't know. How do I start this video? We're gonna take some big strides, big leaps in a certain direction. We're doing some character design. So first things first, I did an outline. I had to make sure that the direction I was going with the pixelated art was gonna look good when it's all connected together, animated. And then from there, I started blobbing out some shapes. And I tried to make sure the colors weren't clashing too hard to each other, but had enough difference to differentiate the different parts of his body. Give him red eyes because I thought it fit the theme. Blood, so I used a lot of red in the actual image. But to contrast that, I use yellow, and you can actually differentiate his arms from the rest of his body. Then, I just started playing around with ideas. Kind of thought maybe give him a slash, maybe give him an X slash. And then I started messing around with his face, and I gave him a beard. And the dude's hot. Dude looks way better with a beard. So I worked for that. I started adding shadows and highlights to his hair and the beard. And it looked good. So I kept it. And as I was working on the face a little longer, I had a brilliant idea. Dude, what if you have one eye? What if his other eye was scarred? And so I tried it out and I put it down. I liked it. It looks good. It fits his character really well too. So I kept it. Now I was honestly really lost about his shirt. It was a shirt at first, but there was too much empty space in the middle of his chest. So I left that alone for now and I started working on the other sprite, his backside, to see how it works. Got the general idea of what I had first down. Then I had the idea to give him a tailcoat because I really wanted him to have a really cool tailcoat. But I didn't want him to look like a circus dude. But I tried it out anyways. And again, ended up liking it. So I kept it. And the final part, you can see I actually, because it's a tailcoat now, I separated the middle part to show his actual shirt. And I think that really fills in the space there that was just red. Here's our protagonist. And I think I'm actually really happy the way this came out. It really fits the style. It really fits the story of the character. Speaking of which, while making him, I was thinking of names. And then it is subject to change, but I really liked the name Ludwig for him. It has that kind of era style to it, and I think it just fits him. So his name's Ludwig for now. If you have any other suggestions, let me know in the comments. Give us a good name for this little dude. So after we got the base down, we got to work on the movement, making sure our baby can walk right. So the thing about pixel art is that not only can you not draw any circles, but you're very limited with the space you're working with, unless you're working on a huge canvas with thousands of pixels, but you don't want to do that for a game. So it made it really hard to sell the illusion of movement through pixels. So every pixel had to be meticulously counted for in order to make sure that the movement and the flow of the character works. And that was really hard to do. And this took me too long. It took me way too long to get done, but it is done. It is done, and I really screwed myself over by giving him the closed right eye, because now I had to make a whole row dedicated to, because I just took the row above it and flip it over, but no, I had to do the eye. I had to do the eye. It's a cool eye, man. All right, it's a cool scarred eye. Okay, what do you want me to do? Change it? No. But now it's finally done. We're gonna take this puppy, drag it into Unity, and finally get him breathing, walking around like Frankenstein. It's not like Frankenstein, like a normal person that's made of pixels and colors. Oh. All right, first things first. Load up Unity. Get your project organized. One of the most underrated things that game developers don't do is not organize. You gotta organize, man. You're gonna get everything so lost and confused, and you're gonna get so many bugs just because you don't know where you put the damn file in which folder. I digress. So, after making my folders, I start setting up the character's physical attributes. So I put a rigid body on the sprite to put some basic elements of physics on it. It has gravity, it has force and velocity within the sprite. But we need to be able to control that to actually get him to move. So we head into Visual Studio, which is the code. Okay, once again, organization, very important. The first thing I do, organize my code. I always make sure my code is clean, clear to understand if you understand code. Otherwise, I myself, being dyslexic, is going to be super lost while looking at a messy jumble of numbers and letters. So what you see here is void start and void update. Void start is a code that will start at the very beginning of running the program. Update will update with your frames per second. So if you want something constant, you put it in your update. Here's the problem. It goes off your frames per second, and frames per second is not consistent. It depends on how high your end your PC is, and we don't want a non-optimized game, all right now? So we're gonna use a void fix update. Basically, it's the same thing as the update, but it's on a fixed timer so it won't bug out. From there, I tell the code to register things, like a speed in which I want him to move, and to actually read the component of the rigid body that we added before. From there, I did a little more calculations, mathematical stuff, and we save, compile, and we go back into the Unity editor. And as you can see, we're moving. Look at him go. Look at our boy go. But, you see, he's not moving the way we want him to move. He looks a little strange, almost up. Duh. Animations. This is the reason why the sprite creation takes a long time, is because we need to add animations that are fluid and they look good, right? Just so you understand that I made one big file of several images of the same dude, and I was able to put that into Unity and splice up the image, because Unity lets us do this, and that's very nice. And now they're all 100 separate images, which makes things so much easier for me. And then after that, we head on to the animator. So I made separate files of animations and an animator in order to control those animations in the specific preferences that we want them to move. And after having a little argument with the animator, we just drag and drop images that we want in that sequence into the animator, and it should animate it for us. So I grab all the walking images and I paste it in, and dear God, look at them go. Love that. So there's an easy way to fix this. Going back to the frames per second thing not only works for games, but also works for animation. You see, animation for games works pretty much the same thing as animation for cartoons. Is that there's a whole bunch of images that are drawn and they're put in each separate frame, and the computer will run through all the frames in a certain amount of speed per second. That is FPS, frames per second. So all I had to do is change the frame per second from 60, which is way too fast, to 12 or 10. All right, with all the animations done, I head into the animator so I can control them based off where you're looking. So I put all my animations in, made a whole bunch of transitions, and then realized that I could have just made one node and put all my animations in that to control it. So we did that. This is a blend tree, and it allows me to blend all my animations together based off of certain parameters. So I did just that and put parameters based off the directions of the input the player puts in. The first thing that you'll see when you enter the level is that the player would be idle. And that is the base animation the player is stuck at, unless we transition from that idle animation to our blend tree. And I set that up and I made another parameter called speed. So basically I made the transitions work only when the speed goes up or go down. So if the character shall move, the animation starts playing, and the character stops, he'll go back to idle. And we're almost done. All I had to do is go into the code, tell it to use the animations correctly, and tell it where to find the animations in the animator. We click play, and our buddy is moving and grooving. Look at him go, man. He's so beautiful. But in all honesty, I actually really like the way he came out. His animations came out much smoother than I thought they were going to come out. And, you know, it works. So I hope you all enjoy watching. Next time we're going to be working on combat, so I hope you tune in for that. And you want to see the rest of the series, maybe give it a little subscribe. Just a little one. It doesn't have to be too big. And I'll see you guys next time. I love you.